What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. Link will be in the description box below. As usual, go get it. PayPal description is in the link also. They asked me to put it in there. I did. But this video, though, is entitled Reasons Our Women Fear Submission. This is just a theory. Okay, submission is a bad word from black women amongst other black women. You're not gonna submit, never. They will not take us alive. They Tupac, it never take me alive. I'm getting high on my 4-5. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's reasons behind this. I think our women fear submission because of indoctrination. I think they've been indoctrinated to believe that, black men are incompetent. Now, what's weird about this is I think a lot of the sisters actually don't realize how we're still the canaries in the mine in America, and we're still the canaries in the mine when it comes to black women too. Black women are still years behind our experience and ideology. So the very things that if they submit to us, they would have to admit that, they're behind. We're actually ahead of the curve and they're not. And the reason I say that is because of this. When I listen to sisters talk, they talk about things that black men have already experienced years ago. Black women are still on this hair tip, right? Black men got away from conks and perms years ago. Now you're seeing these effeminate guys who were raised by women to care about hair. Now they're dying their hair blind. But the vast majority of black men are not playing these games. Like, our hair ain't that important. Our hair is not less important than what's in our minds. And to be perfectly honest, part of the reason why we have the hairstyles we do is an antithesis of letting people know I'm not effeminate. Because you see guys, I'm growing out my hair. Oh, my locks. Oh, this hairstyle. Oh, you basically saying I got taught by women that my hair is my crown. And these women be messed up because my hair is my crown. And what's the use of a crown? What got you the crown is what's in your head, not your damn crown. It's common sense. But common sense ain't that common. So, what winds up happening is now we're ahead of that curve. Sisters are starting to come around. Natural hair has been, and naturalness has been in season last 4 or 5 years maybe. For the most part, we really don't do the colorism thing. He light skinned and I'm dark skinned, so I'm dark and he light, so I'm more black than he is. We don't. That's the argument that happens when women come into the room. We're not worried about that. But more important conversations. You starting to see women. I'm getting an education, and I've got a good job. But then, with the women are behind us, there's a glass ceiling. This is a good old boys club. I can't, I'm not allowed to move in the ranks even if I'm better. Brother's been saying that for decades. I mean, when I was a little boy, that was absolutely known, right? So now black women are just getting there. So, and now that they're going through these issues, now they want us to burn down the black community and burn down America. And what are you going to do to revolt? Because part of the indoctrination is ultimately these women have been taught that they've been taught that we were incompetent as men, and that they were trained to try to be better men than black men. And now that they realize you're not better men than black men, and at the same time you gave away you sold your own femininity out. Now you're at probably the bottom of the barrel when it comes to women globally as far as attractiveness and femininity. Now you in a lose-lose situation, and to submit to the men would actually mean you were wrong. And women have a hard time. Their pride and ego is hard about admitting that they're wrong. So submitting to a man comes to that. Oh, he's gonna, he's gonna take advantage of me because I'm helpless and I'm weak, and I gotta depend on him to build me up. Well, I have a theory about that too. Our community is a matriarchy, gynocracy, whatever you want to call it, right? Here's the problem though. When it comes to the boys in particular, they've tried to indoctrinate the boys for a long time to go against their male instincts. And see, you can brainwash young boys, young men, and grown men easily to get them ready for combat. But you can't brainwash young boys, young men, and grown men to assimilate to a matriarchal mindset. Like eventually all these boys grow out of it. It just depends on when that light switch hits. They could be teenagers, they could be early 20s. Some can be in it, late 20s, early 30s, but they're going to come out of it. And I think the fear of it is because this is when these young boys, young men, and grown men realize that women try to beat them into submission, and now they're scared of karma. They're scared that these men are going to return the favor out of revenge and spite, because they had no business trying to dominate children and control them, subconsciously, consciously, and subliminally, rather, and try to program them to be pets at their beck and call for their benefit. So now, as grown women, you can't control these men physically, and you can't control them mentally. So the best thing you could do is demonize them and say, I can't submit to him because I don't trust what he gonna do to me, because ultimately you tried to break him, like that old Antoine Fisher line. You tried to break me, but I'm strong. I'm still standing. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of Antoine Fisher parenting going on. So now, these women fear submission because it's like, I can't put myself in a position to be a little black boy and he be the matriarchal black woman trying to break him, because I can't handle that mentally. Because, women are still dealing with the fact they can't even handle television programming. They can't even cut the television off to stop from being programmed. They just gotta, I don't love myself because channel 2, 3, 4, 7, 47, and 59 said so, and I can't cut it off. Oh, why? Okay, I'm gonna stop. But the also, pride is in the way because these women it'll be a real shot to your ego that these men, that you can't train a boy to be a man, but these men can make you better women. So the fear of submission is, wow, like this man actually made me a woman, and I could never make my own boy into a man. Because what that means is that means that the women are toxic. The women are dysfunctional. Women have bad behaviors. The matriarchs, that is, they're the one that's really dysfunctional, and it's hard to put yourself in a position where you actually have to see that your team is the problem. So the fear of submission is because if you submit to this guy's program and it works, that means your matriarchal indoctrination was an absolute failure and a sham. And if it and you got to look back at it like, if I was doing this whole time, how far would I be now? And how far have and I failed so much under matriarchy that now I gotta, I gotta question myself. I'm not absolute, because this deity behavior becomes a problem. And I'm gonna get to that and I'm gonna end. Because mothers are deified in our community. Mothers are exalted. Mothers are angelic creatures. They're like living martyrs the way we treat mothers in society. So what happens, when your goddess mother is actually needs the feeble human, man that you've been indoctrinated to believe is beneath women. Because they say hell has no fury like a woman scorned. And if you read the Bible, one of the issues that Satan had with God was he felt like human beings were beneath the angels. But God didn't see it that way. So these angelic mothers, in some ways, have taken on that Satan mindset. Well, these men, why would I put myself below these men when I am an angel, goddess, deity, mother? I'm not, no. But what happens when you're not? Cause then that would mean either you're a terrible god, or you're a terrible goddess, you're a terrible deity, you're a terrible angel, because the beings that are beneath you are the beings that you have to depend on for your ultimate survival. So who's really the powerful one? And I think they would rather feel like they have power than actually have the very things that women naturally gravitate to and long for. Because what really winds up happening is women have been living backwards for so long that they think being a god is dysfunctional. A goddess is dysfunctional. And you can't question God. So what happens when, the lowly being is more functional than a god? You can't submit to that out of pride. I just, I'm still, because this is part of the I'm still right no matter what. I'm a woman. This is why you hear that fake programming. She's a woman, as a woman, as a woman, as a woman and a mother, as a god and a goddess, as a deity. You must follow the orders. It's like, okay. So how come your orders don't work since you are the God principle? How come all your workings fail? It's the men's fault. No, these are your principles, remember? So I think ultimately, reasons why these women have a hard time submitting, because they're not just submitting to men, they're submitting to their own failures. And I don't think they can handle that. We out.